Hi, this is Frank Rudnesky in the Legacy Lounge with another edition of 50 Great Things Leaders Do. Let's get fired up. Today I have a special guest, Sal Petetti, a middle school teacher about 20 miles from here. Sal, welcome to the Legacy Lounge.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
The first question I have for you, Sal, is when did you make that connection between leadership and teaching? How important they both were together?
Yeah, I specifically remember when I made that connection. I made it during my student teaching hours. I had 7th and 8th graders when I was student teaching, and I didn't understand until I fully took control of the classroom how much these students were connected with myself and with the material I was teaching them, and how much of an impact I made on the classroom.
The traditional leadership model now really doesn't exist. When I make that correlation, it's like this, a pyramid, with a very few at the top, and most of us are at the bottom. So if we flip that, throw that follower model right out the window, and give everyone an opportunity to accept their role as a leader, amazing things happen. My next question is, Sal, because we have non-traditional leadership now, and you can see across the nation how well or how poorly leadership can be, how do you get those kids that I call outliers, heretics, and disruptors to come into the mix, to see themselves as leaders?
I believe the way to get those students to see themselves as leaders is to find out what they're passionate about, what they succeed at, and what they find interesting, and allow them to display those talents to the class in some fashion. Not every kid is great at whatever subject you might be teaching, but if you can somehow correlate and connect that to whatever they find interesting, whatever they do at home, whatever they think that they succeed in, and that they can show everybody that they succeed in, that's how they can show their leadership.
So what I'm hearing you say is, when you build that relationship with those kids, then the perception shifts. So they start looking in the mirror differently, to see themselves differently. Not only who they are, but maybe who they can become.
Oh, absolutely. When a student sees their interest as a help rather than hindering them, when they see that when they go home and they spend time on the computer creating YouTube videos, or they do some type of activity such as like a video game, building on like Minecraft, for example, and they can show that to the class, and they see that they're awesome at it, and they can show other people how to do it, then that makes them feel much better about themselves.
Well, I can see you get it, I get it. How do we get other people to get it? Meaning, how do we get those ideas to the table for everyone to see them?
I think the key to that is to just take that extra step to know your students. Don't just see your student as a kid sitting in your class that doesn't like to raise their hand, that you constantly have to yell at and threaten to kick out of the room. Take that extra step to know the student, to find out what their interests are, to find out what they like and what they do when they go home, and make that connection with them. Maybe there's something that you have in common with them that makes them pay attention a little more in your class, or maybe want to participate a little more in your class.
So when those kids know that you love them and lead them unconditionally, they know that you care about them, amazing things happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can give an example. Just this year, we've only been in school a couple weeks, but I have a student who seems to be really interested in this video game called Fallout. I'm a big fan of it. I saw him wearing a t-shirt about it. I mentioned it to him. I said, I really like your t-shirt there. And every day he comes up to me and he says, Mr. Petetti, I did this on Fallout. I did this on Fallout. I want to talk to you about this. And when I give them time to free write, he gets to write about Fallout, and he loves it. And he's very excited to come to class. And that's something that his previous teachers didn't see from him.
This is Frank Rudnesky with Sal Petetti in the Legacy Lounge with another edition of 50 Great Things Leaders Do. Let's get fired up. Sal, thanks for being a guest today.
Thank you for having me.